Excellent, and welcome to TAD Summit Podcast. This is our 71st podcast, I think, and it is Truth in Telecoms. Johnny, how are you?
This is our 71st, and we're about to throw down.
We are?
I think. I don't know, because I'm going to take you by storm.
Go for it.
I love MEF. I love MEF. I love GMoney. I love what he's done. I love the way he stood up behind the scenes. And I love where he's going silently. And there's a lot we haven't spoken about, you and I, obviously, because you ducked me.
I ducked you. When?
I'm only kidding. I'm only teasing. I've been very busy, as you know, on LinkedIn with my posts.
Oh, yes.
Gotten quite a bit of reactions and stuff like that, but just stuff we haven't spoken about. So, I mean, look.
So you love the MEF, or is it?
I love the new MEF.
The new MEF.
I love with Chairman Gerstmann has done, who, by the way, since is still, Brian Lansky-Jones, I love that kid's name, is still his head of whatever, Reach. Responsible
spamming of customers.
Responsible spamming. I don't know what that means, but we'll get into that at another show. But I mean, look, it's very clear here. First of all, Cinch is a solid company at the end of the day.
What about outstanding shares, as you pointed out?
Well, they have outstanding shares. That's really not their fault. There's a lot of things that happened with SoftBank. There's a lot of things that happened when, every single company went from, we're a $1 billion company to we're an $80 billion company. Or look at RingCentral. What a dog. They went from $443 a share down to $34 a share, right?
I know.
Bandwidth lost $4.5 billion.
Yeah.
Everybody got caught and through the hype.
Yeah.
And like I posted today on what they're retrying to do to Twilio, you've got all the analysts saying, buy it. It's nice. It's good. Meanwhile, there's 82% of institutional shares owned.
Yes.
So for the audience understands that, these are all people that, except for a couple of hedge funds that came in with nickels and dimes and are running roughshod over there, that are caught. They're caught with big losses that I have to report. So they're not going to, but if you go into the chat rooms, you talk to the investors, you listen to them, and I quite post their comments. These are the little people. These are the people that have their real money in and that have lost money and that are trying to make their money back or believe in the actual fundamentals of Twilio. Because look, Twilio is a monopoly in the USA.
Yes.
Full stop.
Oh, yeah.
Full stop with developers. They have their market. Look, Cinch, I was going back and forth with an enterprise guy at Cinch. They beat him on 3/4 of the deals for large enterprise. But look, you're not getting those developers. So until Anthony Minicelli and Puck hit the market in a big way and start taking these developers, which how do you bet against Anthony Minicelli?
Oh, but he's taking a channel strategy, though. Anthony is the power behind the Azure communication services. So he's a technology enabler. And then you've got the massive...
And Azure is who?
Microsoft.
Oh, those guys, the Divine Coalition guys, the guys that came in and said, shut down the campaign registry.
Exactly.
So here's my thought on that. So they just did a recent podcast with NetNumber. No mention of the campaign registry anywhere the last few episodes. They had a meeting with Proofpoint, NetNumber. Even Aegis is trying to get away from these guys at TCR.
Yes.
We put the post out on Memorial Day with when the pirate kid from Comms Risk.
Oh yeah, Eric.
Did the hit piece on
Rick's Rick's racist.
He's a xenophobe. But he left out the part that he was the chief counsel, head of cybersecurity for the U.S. Coast Guard.
Left that part out.
He may know a few things, and the top telecom attorney in our country.
Correct.
Bar none. So look, they're beating it, and then the campaign registry and their CEO comes out with a post on doing it again. So when we put an offer in for the campaign registry, they wrapped the flag around Bill Peters, like, oh, we have an Air Force major, some guy from Norway, and another American as the co-founders, right? Or whatever. Then they did it again after we did that. Why? Because Tata's caught. Yeah. The bankers are caught. They're out there.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell this thing. They're trying to figure out what to do with it. They have nothing to sell. There's no agreements.
Is there even a written contract with the carriers for the TCL that they can hold?
It comes down to Robert Gerstmann's a good guy. Full stop.
Okay.
Him and his partners are good guys. They're good people. It comes down to who you are, right? Okay. He's got a CEO now, Lorinda. They're a profitable company. They're caught on the wrong exchange. Yes. They made some novice mistakes going public in the wrong place. 64% of their business is the U.S.
Yes.
They own a hub from Verizon. Verizon got dragged into the campaign registry by AT&T.
Yes.
T-Mobile got dragged into the campaign registry by AT&T.
Correct.
The only hope we have in this country is when the CEO of T-Mobile, Mike Sievert, realizes what's going on, because he's another good guy, right?
Yeah.
He's a stone cold good guy.
Oh yeah.
He's got Ryan Reynolds with Mint of them, who, by the way, was just at a Swiftie concert. They're great friends.
Yeah.
So before you know it, it'll trickle out, because when you've got $70 billion in losses of people getting hurt on robocalls, and all I hear is, well, robocalls are down. I want to stab somebody with my pen.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear anything about that, because the fraud is up.
Exactly.
And that includes you too, YouMail. At the end of the day, everybody's sitting there talking about, oh, things are better. And don't get me started on the 3-company call labeling monopoly. So we have monopolies all over the place, but we have one really big monopoly, which is Twilio/Cineverse / the 800. Yes. But Twilio's caught.
Yes.
You know, they have a big problem here.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to go away? Absolutely not. You know, the stock really can't go down much more than maybe $38-40 a share. And it's doing a simple slide.
Yeah.
Because people are fed up, right? They're just fed up with it.
Sentiment is against them. That's the problem.
But if they would have bought Cinch, if they would have made a deal on Cinch, you know, it's the home run deal. But look what he did.
No,
he cleaned things up.
Cinch? Right, I thought you'd be promoting Tintech.
Oh, no, Tintech's a hell of a ball. We can't go there yet. I do have another buyer for Tintech, which we got to get to.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But this is basically me coming at you. So look, these organizations, they have to stay afloat. They have to get funding. They have to get donations from people. They have to get money in there. But Robert Gerstmann stood up. I don't see MEF. Basically, MEF has their own registry that's competing against the campaign registry in different places.
Yeah.
So look, this campaign registry was set up by AT&T, by one individual. It doesn't work. It's a complete disaster. It's unfair business practices. There's companies that are getting hurt.
Well, it works in terms of monetizing 10 DLC for the ecosystem of monopolies and carriers. It doesn't work in stopping spam.
No, it doesn't work in stopping spam. It doesn't work regarding anything.
They're making money off it?
No, what content's in your messages.
Oh,
you know, you can say this, you can't say that. You can go through this door, you can't go through that door. I mean, why is Ring Central screaming? Because they're being blocked at every corner.
Because of all the hoops their customers have to go through.
But if they had an open door, they wouldn't be screaming.
Of course.
Right? Okay, so it's the same thing. Why? Twilio. I couldn't believe the podcast from Czar when they're talking about, well, Twilio's blocking people. If Twilio blocks you, how bad you got to be? Because they let anybody through. Right? And it's just their whole business is spam.
I think it depends on how much you're paying. You know, because let's face it, you've got the whole. You know,
no, their whole platform is set up for developers. They used to run burner traffic. I've had calls with the senior level guys over there on all the messaging people, all the options. We've been around. They make money off spam. Full stop.
Yes. Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
Full stop. Okay. Cineverse made money on spam. Still makes money on spam. They've done it for decades. Unless T-Mobile comes in and guts it. Unless they gut this like El Salvador. So you've got, what did El Salvador do? They came in and they put everybody in jail. And the organized crime and MS-13 came out and told him, well, we're 20% of the GDP. And he told them, we'll starve.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So the ecosystem has to be cleaned up.
Yes.
It's going to happen because AI, and sadly, it's going to be destruction. But GMoney came in. MEF is promoting net number and whatever they're doing over there. And I'm sure net number's paying through their nose, but not a word. Not a word out there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Tata's distancing themselves. Yes. They put it up for sale. Everybody knows Tata.
Yeah.
You got nothing to sell.
Yeah.
And look, then they come out with a mind-blowing post on talking about how they're diverse and and they put the DOD sticker. I don't know where they got that for their veteran, which, by the way, there will be depositions and people will have to talk under oath, and it will happen because Avi, guys at Campaign Registry, Bill Peters is not going away. He's just going to silently tell the truth in the course of the legal system. The way it happens at the end of the month, they're going to rule on whether or not they can combine his lawsuit into his wrongful termination, which is comical. It's just Mark Romeo from Littler, the biggest disaster, and wait till that gets done, because the biggest scam in this country is what companies can do to former employees.
Correct.
That's the biggest scam. What they can do, they can spend you. It cost Bill hundreds of thousands of dollars until he came up with Robbins Kaplan, and they came up for the fight. But you know that's a bigger story. But look, MEF is trying to GMoney is trying to right the ship.
Yes, he's still telling everybody to ignore us, even though
he's not telling anybody to ignore us. You know what? People want to ignore us. They don't want to ignore us, but they're watching us. So who's ignoring us? Who's ignoring us if they're watching? We're making a difference, and we haven't even started yet because the Swifties are coming. They're going to come because she's going to scream. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on. Nobody wants the robocalls. Nobody wants the spam text. Nobody wants the fraud. The ecosystem is a sewer, and it needs to be gutted. And I talked to senior people at T-Mobile before. We can live without the campaign registry. They'll just go direct. But they got what they wanted, which was their half penny. They're monetizing the A to P network right now. And this will be a slow transition, and they'll figure it out. But, you know, Twilio bought their way into the whole ecosystem. They bought time. Jeff Lawson bought time. He tried to get an edge. He did whatever he could to get an edge. You can't blame the guy. I mean, you can blame him. But, I mean, he's holier than thou at the end of the day.
Well, he's off on the onion now.
Well, the funny thing is they're still coming out trying to say they're a SaaS company. I want to stab myself with a pen. It's a text, a phone call, full stop, communications company. That's it, fellas. Nothing else. But look, I believe people of Verizon taking my stuff. I think they're solid companies. AT&T, get your act together. And these are the highest levels of AT&T don't know what's going on.
No.
These are all middle management people that have created this ecosystem. And look, the FCC is staring into the abyss. What are they doing? I don't know. Well, what are they doing? They're looking, I guess, and look, they're all appointed. They're all politically appointed. Right? So that's it. That's all you have to say. But they are here to protect the people, and it's going to be an onslaught. It's going to be devastating. I mean, just that Juniper report, whether they're off by 10 billion or 15 billion or more or less, and that's not even spam text. It's the amount of fraud that's being perpetrated on the American public and worldwide, by the way. It's staggering. And it's just a matter of time before we get that voice and that break. And I think it's coming. Jonathan Marsilian, he represented Mint. Maybe he can put a call in there and say, hey, guys, you maybe want to pay attention over here and tell Mr. Sievert what's going on. Because if T-Mobile finds out, they're crushing it. They're crushing their competition. They have a $200 billion market cap. They just bought U.S. Cellular, which is basically all of Alaska. I don't know if you know that. Right? And they took that over. They're making a deal with top influencers. Look, Verizon still has their corporate base. They still have the high-end corporate customer because of, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And a lot of these people who have a lot of money, they don't want to switch. They don't want to switch the carrier. They don't want to walk into a store. They don't want to move.
Well, you don't have to. It's all online. It's just habits.
Look, they're all going to keep moving back and forth. But T-Mobile cannot be taken down. They cannot be beat. Fundamentally, you look at their numbers. Why are they double market cap than everybody else? Why?
Because of the marketing.
Because analysts understand. They look at the numbers. So fundamentally, and look, the highest level of that company, solid people. They care. John Ledger created a culture. I've met John Ledger. John Ledger tried to help all the phone card distributors in this country. Didn't have to. Back in 2004 in a bankruptcy, extended credit to hundreds of thousands of distributors in this country. So look, there's a culture there, and that culture is let's do the right thing, and they're walking the walk. So I have hope there. But GMoney, yeah, he came through. You know what I mean? I think he came through, and I think, look, we'll see what happens. Doesn't really matter to me because the truth is going to come out. It's all going to come out in the wash in the legal case, and when you frame a guy on a laptop break-in, and you frame yourself, you're caught.
Yeah.
So Avi Katz, very powerful guy, no question about it. Like I said, I talked to him a few weeks ago. Yeah, let's be friends. Yeah, we be friends. With his accent and all this nonsense. But he personally, point blank, told me he's going to make Bill lose his house. That's what he said. And every time I got on the phone with the guy, he told me how many people he killed. Who does that, right? So look, I'm not afraid of him. Thorsten's another story because he's legitimately dangerous. But we're going to get into him because there's stories you don't know. And as I've been posting about Thomas Volk and the only person that gives me hope in Germany as a country. And no, there's a lot of good Germans, but he's spectacular. I just happened to deal with a private equity group with Scipio Partners and Thorsten, and it's a complete mess. And we'll get to that piece. But look, how do you feel? I love MEF. I love GMoney. I love the new culture. I want to see a lot of Uka's part of it. Uka's out there talking. People are starting not to pay their bills. Why?
Yes.
Because, okay, you want to run AIT, you want to run all this stuff. Well, margins drop. Okay, then what do you do? So just stab yourself. They're stabbing themselves.
Yeah.
And some will get through.
Yes.
But I mean, Twilio's out there funding all these gateway deals. At least Cinch is doing it internally.
Yeah.
Okay, they're doing it internally, right? So everybody wants to cry, oh, they're making me prepay. You should be prepaying at the end of the day. Why are the prices so high in African countries? Why
Exactly.
they the company? Because they need the revenue to feed their people. So I'm not going to sit here or feed themselves, but that's their right. They're not democracies in these countries. You go into some of these countries, they make their own rules. They live the way they want. And if they decide that they want a $30 million deposit and they want a certain tariff, who's anybody to tell them you can't?
Rates should be published.
I just want to know.
Back to Uka, all rates should be published so that we can flush out all this corruption, because it's
not going to happen. It's not going to happen in our lifetime.
It happens in voice. Why can't it happen in messaging?
That's a complicated.
It's called regulation. Full stop.
Oh, you're going to regulate Zimbabwe? Where are you going to go to Nigeria? You're going to regulate Nigeria?
Through the African Union. We'll get there.
Oh, the African Union. Okay. All right. So but bottom line is this. I think Cinch is the most solid company out there, fundamentally. If you just look at the numbers. I think InfoBip's gonna go public here because they have to.
Oh, yeah.
They have no choice. There's no other way. I mean, there is a way. They don't go public, and JP Morgan, One Equity Partners don't get their money back.
Well, exactly. So it's going to happen, because there's no buyer.
It's who is the buyer? I don't know. I mean, there might be some. I mean, look at the people. Look at the people that are reading your stuff and the people that are reading my stuff.
Yes.
Two different groups, right?
Yes.
You have the high-end companies looking into your stuff. Why are they watching you? Why are they listening? Why are the big names that are inside reading your stuff watching you? What do you think? They just want to hang out with you? They're trying to learn. They're educating themselves. Why? Because we're out here telling the truth.
Yeah. And this is important to them, and they're going to make continued investments in this space. So,
well, they have to continue. Everybody has to continue. Look, it is what it is. SMS is not going away anytime soon.
I agree. Absolutely.
And CPAS is not going away anytime soon. Wall Street,
but it's changing.
Is dead on.
Like but Telnex in their post around AI and connectivity, I thought was a really interesting.
First of all, I just responded to you. I read that first and liked it first, and you came in and just trampled on me. No, it was a good piece by them. But look,
I know,
but for me, they're a private company, right?
Yeah.
So, private companies are difficult for me to look at because you can't really gauge it. You don't know what's going on.
in terms
when
of
somebody's public, I can go into Bandwidth, I can go into Ring Central, I can go into Twilio, I can go into Cinch and pull down their pants and say, okay, let me see what's going on here. Non-GAAP? Oh, wait a minute. Non-GAAP. Yikes.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But you could pretty much do the math. I don't know. I hear a lot of great things from you about Telmex. I hear a lot of great things from other people. I love that piece.
It's solid.
And
it's a good contrast for Twilio versus Telmex on their AI strategy, because it really lays out a different view of the world going forward. And I think this is going to be
Twilio has no strategy right now. They're losing employees left and right. People are leaving. They have business that wants to come in. I mean, I know they're that Cinch is winning more than half of their battles on enterprise customers, large end. But how are you beating that base? And they still have the 800 registry.
Yes.
They still control over 80% of all the campaigns in the US.
Correct. Yep. Oh, yeah.
And it's still spam away.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know what Cineverse is putting through their pipes, but they got board seats.
Oh, yeah.
And they got a big stake in it.
And we know that the what was it called? The non-certified, or that 10 DLC pathway that they're closing down on December the 5th. I can't remember. December 1st, sorry. I can't remember the term they used for it.
Listen, things are changing every day. Things are sanctioned. Things are changing every day. And the only hope we have, because we stand for what's right for people, even if we have to stand alone. And the industry is listening to us. The public's not listening to us, although some analysts and people on Wall Street. But it'll get out. The news will get out. Nobody's asking the question, why are there $70 billion being stolen on robocalls? Why are there tens of billions of dollars? Why is this happening? Why can we go to Mars? Why can't we stop this? It's a joke.
April, basically it was 19.2 billion spam SMS, according to Robokiller. I mean, that's a ridiculous number, and it's flat.
And it's probably a lot more than that, because where are they basing their information on?
Oh, exactly.
I mean, all these numbers that get thrown out. Look, it's too much. But what it is how many people click the wrong thing?
Yes.
How many people go the wrong way? How many people are being fleeced?
Yes.
And now with AI, and we know it's already happening.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got all these regulations in different states, and everything's a regulation. And we just find lingo for 2 million. Okay.
It's not going to make a difference. It's like trying to regulate AI.
They can end up paying $5,000 on that 2 million. That's what they're going to end up paying.
Exactly. And that's history shows that's going to happen. But we're going to focus on AI regulation. You got to state you used AI. Well, what do you mean by that? That I used, Microsoft Copilot while I was crafting the text? What the hell? I mean, again,
regulators they don't know what to do.
It's the connectivity. It needs to focus on the connectivity. And
you have to know who somebody is. There has to be identity. It has to go down that level. And look, whether it's at the SIM level, which the more I dig into it, it can happen, or whether it's to be a product
very
like
valid
TNID.
Identity.
But nobody's running into that.
No.
But I mean, so look, I think everybody is kind of winning out of this except the American public.
Correct.
I think the American public is losing.
Yeah.
I think the industry is starting to kind of trying to police itself a little bit. Again, I want to get into.
It's a knee-jerk reaction. I mean,
Twilio's got some potential issues with TCPA, depending on how you look at that.
Yeah. And as Jonathan, in our podcast with him, it's hard to say. I'd say there's a question mark over there. It's a bit of a stretch, and it would need some, changes, I think, within regulation for it really to hit home. But,
it's just a comma here, dot here, move this word around, and it's TCPA nightmare for the industry.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe that's the way. I don't know. But I mean, look, T-Mobile did put out that $4,000 fine, which we complained about before, but they tried to do something.
Yes.
They don't know where to go. They don't know they don't know what they're doing. I mean, look, Cineverse is a hub. They've been the hub for decades, right?
Yeah.
They don't even, their network is real networks. which was another publicly traded company, and they're even trying to sell a platform that handles all their AI. So they're just a middleman, shuffling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are you guys? So, and I know they're hated. I know I've talked to so many people at Cineverse that talk about how much, especially T-Mobile, hates them. But look, they don't want to deal with it. So I think they're going to have to deal with messaging.
Yes.
At some point, they're going to have to address it. And everybody you talk to, oh, they can't do it. They can't do it because they don't want you to do it. Because of all the people making money in the middle.
That's it. All those monopolies in the middle. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I mean, Verizon, there's even have charges now for inflation charges on people's bill that people don't even see. And so, look, MEF, I think GMoney is right in the ship.
I think he's just reacting to other MEF members saying,
like I said, get the facts, GMoney.
Yeah.
Get the facts, okay?
Yep.
These are not bad guys. You know what I mean? It just comes down to who you are. Why am I betting on the guy from T-Mobile? Because I've done my research and I've heard things about what kind of person he is.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be a certain kind of person to want to stop people getting hurt.
Exactly.
That's it. Or you just don't care. Right? And these companies are big. They're doing big deals. But I think we're getting there. So that's my blast for the day for you.
Johnny loves MEF.
I love the new MEF with GMoney. Right?
I reserve my opinion.
They're all distancing themselves. They're like, no, get away from us. What are you guys doing? Quietly. They're quietly distancing themselves. Right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you know, the epidemic is still going. And where's it coming from? Who's the market? Yeah. The market's Twilio. Where's it coming from?
Yeah. It has to be.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Twilio Cineverse. So we group it together.
Yeah. So where's it coming from?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Right.
And it's not rocket science to basically see where the spam traffic is coming from. It's just a matter of measurement. And we've said that before, when you measure and you quantify and you characterize, then you have to do something about it. It's like, we don't really know, so we don't have to do anything about it. It's no longer a viable response.
And then look, they're the catalyst worldwide too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
What is going on at TinTech? I don't even know. What's going? What is the deal between TinTech and Twilio? What's going on there?
Well,
getting the milk for free. Getting the milk for free. No, look, they're burying. They put these large deposits down.
Yep.
And they bury the cost in their marketing. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it. It's very simple.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's called non-GAAP 2.0.
But in their 14A filing, this month, they did say by 2025 Q4 they do plan to move to GAAP, principles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so we'll see. I plan on being 7 foot tall and slam dunking and beating the NBA. I had a dream last night that I was on the Knicks, but
it's going to be interesting financial engineering to make that transition from where they are to be fully.
Yeah, no, something's going to happen. Something has to happen.
Gotcha.
There has to be an event. A lot of those companies they still have that large base, unless somebody comes in and knocks them off their throne, or unless there's an antitrust look at, or unless a T-Mobile comes in and says, enough of this, enough. T-Mobile, Verizon can do it. I think AT&T's, they're stuck, because that's all I heard from both Verizon people and T-Mobile people. Well, we could do it ourselves, but AT&T's inbred. They built the campaign registry to spec. Yeah. That was an inside job.
Gotcha. Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
I'm done. I don't believe it's the carriers. I believe it's the ecosystem. It's the MS-13. Maybe we could do a list of the top 13 of worst companies.
Jail.
Yeah. Clean it up.
But
stop spamming grandma.
But the challenge is that transition. How do you clean up and transition to something that is notionally clean? And that's the problem.
Listen, that's not your problem. It's not your problem. Your problem is bringing awareness. Your problem is how to get awareness. Yeah. Your problem is how to get better in marketing. Although I think we've done a great job getting our messaging out. I mean, you saw Noah responding to the FCC on that. Yep. They don't even understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so brilliant.
Yeah.
You want to poke your eye out, saying, "Can you make it a little bit more?" Whatever. He's a brilliant kid. He's right. There's so many loopholes. This is complicated stuff, right?
Exactly.
It's not for us to solve. But anyhow,
cool.
Let's talk next week.
Absolutely. Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.